everybody, welcome back to another vlog. Today is October 1st, opening day of Indiana's archery season. It's about 4 o'clock right now. I had to work today. Just got off. I'm heading to a spot on one of my private farms where I've had a really big buck on camera, and I have some history with this buck. I actually shot him last year on this farm. And obviously I did not find him, did not end well. I hit him square in the shoulder, didn't know if didn't know if he died or lived for sure. But then in January I actually got another picture of him, so I figured he lived as long as he made it through the winter. And then sure enough, this fall here, right before season, I've been getting pictures of him again. I do have a bit of a pattern on him, at least I hope I do. This farm is a super small farm the way it hunts. There's not much there. It's mostly fields and then some fence rows. And I have a good idea where this buck is bedding. I've had him on camera a couple times in the early morning, say between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. going down this waterway that I assume he's walking down to go back into these crop fields and then bedding on these fence rows that are out in the middle of these crop fields. I saw where he came out of bedding last year when I shot him, and I'm hoping that he's doing the same thing this year again. There's a little bit of a different crop pattern this year. It's actually backwards. So what I'm hoping is that he's bedding on the side of the fence row that is corn, and then watching over into the bean field, and then maybe he's walking down between the fence row and the cornfield during daylight hours to go wherever he's going to feed it in the evenings. And I'll show you this a little better once we get to where I'm going here. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. Sorry for the long-winded description. I just really wanted to kind of paint the picture for this hunt tonight. And this is probably a deer that you'll probably follow me along trying to kill this year. Don't have my heart completely set on him or nothing, but he's definitely one that I have a little bit of a vengeance on, just because I did put an arrow in him last year and didn't find him. So yep. Just had a deer come across this wood lot here and go across the road back into that wood lot right in front of my truck. Didn't get it on film, but I don't know, she sure seemed spooked, like someone spooked her. So there may be someone in that woods trying to hunt or something. But so I thought everything's corn this year, so it's a good thing. It's kind of what I wanted to see. I thought there was a field of beans, but there must not be. That gives me a lot more confidence that buck is probably bedding in them fence rows in between them two cornfields. It's a pretty good hiding spot. So there's a fence row that runs east and west, and a fence row that runs north and south, and where I'm going to try to head this evening, unless I find something better on my way in, is where those two fence rows intersect right there, is where I'm assuming maybe that buck will come to tonight. So to tell you a little story about this farm, when I first started hunting here, there was a giant 9-pointer that lived on this farm, and I could not figure out where he was. And I was out here one evening, and the farmer was feeding these cattle that are up in this fence up in here, and he was telling me, and that the property line is the back of that fence there. He was telling me, I was talking to him about deer hunting, and the deer in this area and this and that, and he goes, yeah, there's a big buck that lives right inside this cattle pasture here. He's been there for a couple years now, and that buck was bedding in one of these little tangles inside the cattle pasture, where nobody would hunt, nobody would bother him. The farmer would literally, I'll just show you guys right here, all the farther that the farmer would come was he'd come into this gate right here and then drop his hay bales off into the feeders there, and that's it. And that buck would live back in that back corner next to those that big tangle back in there. I never could get him. I was quite a bit more inexperienced than I am now. Not that I could have got him now, but yep, you guys just never know where a buck's going to be living on your guys' properties you hunt. All right, I'm just getting ready to go here. I know a lot of you guys get interested in like gear and gear storage and stuff, and this is kind of the setup I run all season. I'll have my clothes in a box there, and then I just keep my sled in here. I got my pack for if I kill one up in the hills. Got my beast stand obviously with some sticks. I keep a couple of cell cams in here, and then I also have a pair of what's called frog legs. And then I got my safety harness and stuff in here as well. So just kind of keep it all in one little area there. Freaking sap. We just got back from the I just got back from the beast breakdown hunting Fort McCoy, Wisconsin. So I sat in a pine tree and got sap all over everything. But something you guys don't have up in Wisconsin is one of these persimmon trees here. It looks like they're starting to fall on the ground. I should probably sit right here and shoot a doe tonight if I wanted to, I bet. There's pretty good bedding right up in there. I'll probably come down and feed on these persimmons. It's right in the farmer's front yard though. Alright, instead of walking down the tree line to get to this spot, I think I'm going to walk down this here, this little waterway, just to avoid the tree line, because I think that buck is bedded on that tree line somewhere, and I hate for it to be somewhere I walk right up on him and jump him. So I don't think there'll be any deer bedding out here in the open on this hot day. So I'm going to walk down through here, and it's probably be a little bit more quiet too than walking on the edge of the cornfield. That's without question that big buck. So that's coming from that tree line where I think he's bedding at. That's obviously not real fresh, but he's made this track once before. So I'm going to kind of slowly sneak down these corn rows until I get in there on him. Well, I honestly think I screwed up, guys. I came down that fence row a little farther just to kind of check things out. And I jumped a single deer, and it sounded like a big deer. And so while he's not in this bedding area, I circled around in here to see what was going on. And there are some nice rubs in here. I don't really mean it's him, I guess, but this is definitely an area where a buck is bedding. I'm going to look around just a little bit longer, and then I'm going to look for a specific bed, and then maybe I might just set up here in the morning, and hopefully that he comes in here then and I get a crack at him. So I jumped him right back in here, and you can see right here coming out of that bed, it's a big old track, big old rub. Dang it. I really do not want to do that, guys, but I guess it tells me that he's where he's bedding at, as long as I don't spook him. I got a couple things going for me. As long as I didn't spook him hard. I think I just like scared him, because I walked right up on him almost before he jumped out of here. So I think what I'm going to do is hang my stand in a tree in here where I think I can get a shot at him if he comes back here in the morning. Alright, so that deer's bed is, I'll show you real quick while I'm in here. Might as well ruin it all, right? You see that that rub right there, his bed's right there. And it looks like he's coming, there were some tracks coming out of that, through here, and then around to right here. He came out right here. So I think I'm going to hide a cell camera up in this little mess of stuff here. Just see what happens this year. Be more of an experiment. I told myself I wouldn't do that, and I did it. But oh well. Let's try to make the most of it now. All right, I got my Exodus render up in that tree right there. It's pretty hidden. A lot of backdrop in there, vines, and this limb right there. And right here is the faint trail that goes back into his bedding right there. So we'll see what happens. Now I'm going to get my beast stand, and I'm going to get it set up in a tree for in the morning when I'm just going to for lack of a better word, just molest this area, getting that stand ready for the morning. We'll see what happens. All right, I got the stand all set up. It's not very high, it's just about 2.5 sticks high, but I couldn't get any higher because I had way too much brush. But yeah, the trail that goes into that bedding is right over there. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna have a south wind, so it's gonna be blowing this way and just blowing my stand up into that cornfield. So in theory he should come down this tree line right here and J-hook in here to bed, and when he J-hooks in, should get a shot at him right there. That's how it's supposed to work, right? All right, good morning everybody. It's October 2nd now. It's 4 in the morning here, and I'm actually at McDonald's uploading the first part of the Beast Breakdown video. So I'm trying to get that up for you guys, get that series going, as well as hunting and stuff, so it makes for early mornings for me to get editing done and get everything uploaded. So anyways, gonna go set in the stand I put up yesterday. I left my beast stand up overnight, hoping that buck's gonna circle back around and be going into that bed this morning. So pretty excited about this morning, but gotta get this uploaded, then get to the stand. Alrighty, I made it to my spot here, getting ready to head in. It's pretty early. It's about 5 a.m. now, so I'd like to be sitting by about 5:15. All right, got all set up. It's about 5:30 right now, so I got a good hour and 45 minutes before it gets light out. I actually got a picture of that big buck and another nice buck about 300 yards away from here. Probably farther than that. Probably about 500 yards away from here. About 30 minutes ago. So I checked my cell camera, and they were in that waterway that I've been getting them on camera almost every morning in that waterway real early. So my hopes is one of them comes back to bed in this bed I found yesterday evening, and I'll be here waiting for him. Well, it's officially legal light now. About 10 minutes before legal, something came in from behind me here. I don't know if it's spooked or there's a fence behind me. He may have just jumped the fence, but I'm not sure. Didn't blow or anything. May have been the buck. I wouldn't have thought so, because he'd had it circled all the way around and come from that way, which is a long haul from where he was, but I guess he could have done it. There's 2 does in the food plot behind me here. Those does kind of like spooked down towards me here, and was looking back behind me, and then they blew and took off. So I don't know if someone's walking up in that woods up there. Anyway, it's about 9 o'clock now. I'm probably get down pretty soon. For one, I need to go to the bathroom pretty bad, and I don't really want to do it right here. And then need to kind of get a game plan together for this evening. I'm not 100% convinced that this bed is the big one's bed. There's another, like, kind of a maybe 120-inch 8-pointer that lives over here in this area too, and it might be his bed that I jumped him out of yesterday, because something that deer at dark came in from behind me, and that big buck was 500 yards that way, if not more, at 5 a.m. So I wouldn't have thought he'd have been able to circle all the way around and come in from behind me in that amount of time. but maybe I'm wrong too, but I'm pretty sure that buck is somewhere between right here and way over there where my camera is. So figured out what those does are blowing at. I have to cross this little fence here to go into where I was at, and those does were standing right up in there in that food plot. And there was a bobcat walking across the this little mowed area right here. You can see whenever I hopped the fence. I tried to get him on camera, but by the time I got my big camera out to zoom in, he was gone. All right, heading in for my evening hunt. I had to abandon the spot where I had that big buck on camera. The wind has shifted from the southeast to the southwest, and it's just not a good wind for that spot. I just hate to blow him out of there, and more than I maybe already have. But anyway, going to a spot now. It's another piece of private that the one that actually Dan hunted whenever he was down here hunting with me, and he's helped me a little bit develop this piece with the food plots and whatnot, and placement of the food plots. So kind of excited about tonight. I got a cell camera up over the food plot I'm going to sit at. It's in the very back of the property, but the firmware needs updated on it, so it hasn't been actually sending me pictures. It's kind of acting as just a standard SD card camera right now, but I'm going to update the camera while I'm there on the food plot real quick, since it's going to be raining anyway. So yeah, let's go ahead and get out there. All right, heading in now. I'm actually going to go across this big creek over here and check a regular SD card camera, or non-cellular camera, whatever you want to say. See if there's anything good on it, and if I need to change my plans, I'll go back and get my beast stand and sticks and change them. All right, I got all set up. The wind speed's actually quite a bit more than I thought it was going to be. It's pretty windy. I'll show you guys what I got going on here, and I'm actually really proud of this property. I've done a lot of hard work on it, and this food plot just looks beautiful. It's not a very big food plot here. I don't know if it's even a half acre, but what I got here is you can see that trail that goes from there all the way back into that wood line you can see, and that's actually like a little swamp where you'll have a lot of bedding. There's also a ditch line that goes out into this field that keeps going. That's also can hold some really good bedding. And then obviously the cornfield, which is how I came into this spot. I walk down the edge of the cornfield and hop up in here. Then they can also come from there and bed, because there's good bedding back in there also. So yeah, a lot of hard work, sweat, and resources went into this property this year. So the camera I had over the food plot, the batteries were actually dead on it, so that's why it wouldn't send me pictures, obviously. But it was kind of weird because it didn't show up. It showed up on my app like it was it had battery. But anyway, I'll pull it, replace the batteries, and bring it back in here sometime. But hopefully tonight we get one. There is a buck in here that I had on camera last year, and last year I think he was a 3-year-old, and he was a really nice deer, but he's grown quite a bit this year, and he's kind of just like goes straight out. It's a cool looking deer. I hope he shows up tonight. Obviously I have no idea what's been coming into this food plot, but hopefully something comes in tonight. The wind is, like I said, was coming out of the southwest, which is hitting me right in the face right now and just blowing all over in that cornfield. So everything's good set up for tonight for this little spot here. There's a shooter out in the CRP field. end up being 2 shooters. They both just went straight across this CRP field over into that bean field over there. My problem is there's no trees where they came out of and went to that bean field. So I'm gonna have to think about this one for a little bit. Both those bucks went into that bean field, right in that tree that's in the middle of the frame right there. They came out right there, went all the way across this CRP field, and right there where that tree is, they went out into that bean field. All right, so pretty much dark right now on the big one. I know it's in here. He's out in that bean field, so I'm gonna go ahead and pack up and get down. I think tomorrow night, I can't hunt in the morning, but I think tomorrow night I need to get somewhere either on this little fence row that goes, or this creek here that goes out into the CRP where that buck came out of, or get in that tree that's over by the beans. I got to find out if that tree is on our property or not that we can hunt. And if it's not, I may need to make a phone call. So, yep, that was a good night though. Always good when you see a shooter. All right, heading in for the evening hunt now. I'm going where that buck came out of that bedding area in that CRP field and went across the CRP field into that green bean field last night. So pretty much same exact conditions. It's been raining all day today. Stopped raining now. Southwest wind. So everything's lining up like it should, as long as the buck does the same thing as he did last night. So we'll see if that actually happens or not. But obviously I'm real excited about this hunt. So where I have to sit at this evening is right on the property line. There's a fence row on the property line there, and that's where those bucks are coming out. It's only trees right there. So I actually text the hunter that hunts the property where I'm going to sit by, and just kind of told him what my plan was, and he was totally cool with it. And I actually called the landowner as well and talked to them just to make sure. Don't want to make anybody mad and irritate them or cause a ruckus there on my piece of private. So it's always better to just talk to people instead of trying to be sly or trying to be secretive about things. At least that's my opinion, at least. All right, heading in. It's actually a pretty long walk back in here, even though it is a private piece, kind of long and narrow. So got to walk all the way around to get the wind right too. So I heard someone pulling in behind me, but it must have just been from the highway. So let's go ahead and get back there. All right, I got onto this bean field that this deer were coming out to last night. Last night I was sitting in those trees right over there, and that buck came from that area right over there, that little fence row you can see, or that tree line you can see, walked right across the CRP field, and then came out right in here. So got a south wind which is blowing straight down this the field edge here, which is pretty good. I'll have to shoot him when he's out here, but as long as I don't get kicks of west wind, I got a little worried about it. Ideally, I would sit in one of those trees over there, but they're not big enough. They're just shrubby trees. So yeah, it's hot, but I got time. I'm gonna get up in this tree right here and hope for the best tonight. So let's get up there. All right, I got my stand all set up, and it's actually starting to rain pretty good, which is probably a good thing. But it's not very high in the tree. It's just 2 sticks up, maybe, I don't know, 8 feet up. It's raining. Well, that's about the worst rainstorm I've sat through in a long time. I don't know how many inches of rain we just got, but it just dumped on me. But man, I've killed 2 nice bucks after a nice rainstorm like that. If you can just set it out, I'm soaking wet. I'm gonna be cold. My boots are full of water again. But anyways, sorry I couldn't film any of it really. It was, I mean, a torrential downpour. You could see the water running down the side of the field. But anyway, I got set up here and kind of held out in this rainstorm. And those bucks are bedding right over there right now. Last night they came out of bedding, came up through here, and walked catty-corner across the field right underneath this tree, and then out into the bean field to feed. So if we do that again tonight, I'll be sitting here waiting on it. The only problem I have is during that rainstorm, the wind kept kind of shifting over to the west and blowing over in that area. But I just have to deal with it. Nothing I can do about it. Those south winds a lot of times get a little squirrely on you. So hopefully tonight they do circle around and come back in from this way and not straight in front of me here, because they'll probably win me if they come straight in front of me. But it's a chance I have to take. I just saw the big buck go back into the bedding area and bed down. So hopefully he comes up through here and starts making his way this way. We'll see. This dang wind just keeps kind of swirling. I hate it. It's not good, but we'll see what happens here. It's gotten really foggy as the sun has set, and I can't even see the bedding area now, so maybe he'll appear out of the fog here. Alright, I just got off work here and heading in for an evening hunt. It's Monday the 4th, and gonna do something different tonight. That buck has now crossed in that little open area on that finger that goes out in the CRP field 2 times. The wind is crap for any tree that I might be able to get in closer to him. So I'm going to get in there and hunt off the ground tonight in the CRP field. I got my ghillie suit and my beast bucket with me, and I'm going to set up kind of on the east side of where he's bedding, near where that crossing is in the middle of the finger that I've seen him twice now, 2 nights in a row. So hopefully he's there a 3rd night and I get a shot at him tonight. I hope I can hide good enough in that CRP field where he won't see me, but we'll see about that when we get there. All right, heading in. It actually about an hour ago got real cloudy, like it was gonna rain, but never did, and then now it's kind of sunny and hot. Hoping we get a little breeze going so I can sneak in there a little closer, be real quiet. Got the beast bucket back out. Don't know if you remember, but the last time I used this bucket, I shot a real nice buck with my rifle. So maybe it'll bring me some good luck this evening. All right, so take a quick break here and think about what I'm doing here, kind of explain it to you guys. So if you can see that tree line right through there is where that buck is bedding, and I think he's bedding right in that area. Kind of right here to here is a little gap in the tree line, and that's where I've seen him walk. Either the first evening he went in that gap and then out across the bean field to the west, and then last night he just walked straight down this tree line, or this little finger that goes out into the CRP field, and then went up in there somewhere. So I have to be careful, because if I get on top of this hill, he may see me out there, so I'm gonna have to go around
and kind of stay low and then get over in here in hopes that he never sees me. My wind right now is just coming straight out of the northwest, which is good. However, it is going to be kind of just slowly changing to the north, so I have to kind of stay on this side of the finger so my wind doesn't blow into his bedding area up in there. So that's kind of my plan this evening. We'll see how it works. Okay, so right here is that gap that deer came through the last 2 nights. I suspect that he's bedding right back in there, and I'm hoping he'll come out of that bedding and walk right down the edge to go back out into that field again. And if he does, I'll be here waiting on him. But man, it's hot right now. The sun's just beating down on me. I can hear that buck coughing right inside there. At least I hope that's him. Brush in my way, but I thought I could get through it. And apparently I couldn't, but I'm gonna go and look at the arrow real quick. Man, it's frustrating. Some positives to take away if I didn't get him is did a really good job of hunting him down and getting where he was, coming up with a plan. It's just that the brush was a little thicker than what I thought. And there was no way for me to come over here and check beforehand or anything, because he was literally bedding right there the entire time I was sitting there. He was coughing. I could hear him like clearing his throat and stuff. I could probably come over here and show you where he was bedding at. It's honestly a miracle I got this close to him. So he was standing right in this area when I shot, and I don't know if you can see my camera, but it's right there, 24 yards. And then right there's that brushy stuff that he was sitting inside of. So I was literally, I don't know guys, I was probably 12 yards from him. I snuck in that close to him. I didn't know he was bedding there. I thought they maybe been bedding over here, because last night I saw him come through right here, but obviously he was right here. He was right there, I mean, and then came back this way. Maybe he was going to work his way back down, but if I could have figured out how to get up in here, if I'd have known he was bedding right there, it might have been a different story, because I had a clear shot down through here. I just didn't have one where I was at. It's too thick. Show you my setup there, just sitting on the old beast bucket. And see that crap right there? That's on the right side of that was where he was bedded, and he came out around here and walked right up through there. Man, I still just can't believe, I don't know what happened. I've had to just hit a bunch of stuff. I guess this stuff's probably thicker and like more of like a wall than what I thought it was. Oh well. Gosh. That was close to working. It did work. I didn't get the shot done. Bow hunting's hard. Well, guys, trying to be positive about this, but this kind of sucks. Is what it is. It happens. I think I should have been more patient on the shot, and maybe he would have circled. Maybe he would have turned around and came a little closer to me and got away from some of that open, or got into some of that more open brush instead of taking the shot where he was in a little bit of a thick area. Man, I did everything perfect tonight, other than the icing on the cake, I guess, the buck being dead. So that's what I'll call this vlog, icing on the cake. Everything but the icing on the cake. But I hope you guys learned something. When you find these bucks, just stay on them, keep hunting them down, do your best to do whatever you have to do. Get in a ghillie suit, get on the ground, get in tiny little trees until you get on top of them. And I was quite literally on top of them. That deer was within 20 yards of me the entire night. In fact, he was farther away from me when I shot him than when he was bedding. So, yep. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry that there's not a trophy photo at the end of this vlog, but it's only the 4th of October. I got plenty of time. I'll get on a bigger one and a better one. So, I'll see you guys in the next vlog.